Joe Flacco, 0-2, 451 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 451 yards in 2 games. I believe Joe Flacco had that much in the first half against the Jets last year on a Thursday night when he was on a roll.
Yeah, that's right.
And guess who the Colts are playing this week? Those Jets. And it's time for Anthony Richardson again.
All right. Let's see what he's got.
And I totally understand it because the Indianapolis Colts right now weren't getting anything. They weren't getting wins, and they weren't getting Anthony Richardson any better, which is the absolute worst case scenario having benched him. Teams not getting the benefit of starting the veteran. They're falling further behind in a race just because of the marking of time. If you take a look at the standings, you would see how if the Colts had gotten out of Joe Flacco what they were hoping to get out of Joe Flacco, they would be right now tied for first place in the AFC South. They would be 6-4 instead of 4-6 because the Texans haven't won a thing in the last pretty much month plus. They have regressed to the mean. And the Colts are 2 games back still from a Texans team that's already swept them. And the Texans were ripe for the plucking over the last 2 weeks, and instead they didn't get what they needed out of Joe Flacco, and Anthony Richardson standing around isn't doing anybody any good. Got to get him those reps, and I can't believe I'm saying this. The Jets defense isn't a bad team to try it against. I wouldn't have said that a month plus ago. Mm-hmm. Even when they were starting their losing streak, they were still balling out on that defensive side, and they just don't look the same. They just don't look the same at all. So why not give Anthony Richardson some run right here? And then you take a look at the Colts. After they take on the Jets, they're home for Detroit. Who, by the way, going to get Mac Jones this week, it appears. Then they're at New England for a bye, and then they finish up. They're not out of it. As we all know, 5-5 is the team that's sitting there in the 7th spot. Denver is a team that the Colts face in Denver after the bye. So they've got to be looking at this and saying, we got to put the kid out there. Because we're not getting out of Joe what we needed to get out of him. And even if he starts putting it together, it may save our season, but let's see if the kid can do that too. Sitting around and waiting for him to mature next year is just not, I guess it was, would you say it was worth a shot to see if Joe could do it?
I think so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Richardson was playing so poorly.
Not seeing the field, making bad decisions.
And they were right in the mix there in the South with Houston struggling. So, yeah, it was worth a shot. Plus, maybe Anthony just needed to be kind of get a reset.
Yeah, take a step back.
We shall see. I don't know how that works. Certainly how it works with Bryce Young, because Dave Canales, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, steadfastly refused in our broadcast meeting to even say, guys, this is off the record, and tell us exactly why they benched Bryce Young. He wouldn't do it, because if he said that what he did bench him for, then the kid would have to own it now. And he wants to have turned the page, and right now turning the page has worked 2-1 since he's back. Yeah. So there's that situation in Carolina and Indianapolis. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.